Hello, 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 and welcome. My name is Dr. Shola Ezeokoli. I am a physician and a physician coach. I help busy physicians and non-physicians too defeat and prevent burnout, as well as create options for themselves outside of traditional medicine, outside of the regular 9 to 5, outside of the box, so that people can actually live their best lives. That's why my program is actually called Your Optimum Life Now. I help people live their optimum lives now. And I have with me today Dr. Seema Harichand, an amazing, amazing oncologist from Iowa. But, Dr. Harichand, please tell us about yourself.
Okay, I am a hematologist oncologist. I practice in Des Moines, Iowa. I have a busy practice and I'm the mom of 3 kids. And what really found myself very overwhelmed in the last probably, I don't know, 10, 12 years since I finished fellowship. And that has just been sort of increasing and increasing in recent years. And so I was seeking ways to be able to keep working as an oncologist because I love what I do, and not burn out.
Okay, great, great, great. So my next question for you is this. How were things before you started working with me? What would you say things were like for you then?
I was, as I said earlier, I mean, being busy in practice, can mean a lot of different things for different people. But for me, oncology is a very intensive field. Our patients are very complex and it can be very mentally and emotionally taxing. And of course, there's always the dreaded charting and that adds to long hours.
Yes.
And so between, keeping up with the data, keeping up with charts, finding time to physically see patients, both in the office and in the hospital, I just felt like I was drowning all the time. I felt like I was overwhelmed with work. I felt like I was overwhelmed because of that at home, just being able to keep up with kids and family. And, because of that overwhelm and that stress, I just felt like constantly had thoughts spinning in my head. I couldn't calm down. I couldn't relax. And I really just didn't know how to get out of that cycle.
Okay.
And felt like I needed, to do something to change my thinking so that I could finally get a handle on all of it.
Thank you very much for sharing. Now, between then and now, of course, there's in between, but comparing now to then, how would you say things are now?
So of course, I'm still busy and I still sometimes get stressed and feel a little overwhelmed, but not, I'm not doing charts from 2 weeks ago. I'm doing charts from yesterday and today.
That's huge.
Sometimes just today, but this time I have yesterday and today. It is huge. I, have charts like that because I've made the choice maybe that, when I got home, I'm like, okay, I did some, but I am going to go exercise and I'm going to spend some time with my family and I will do some of the work tomorrow. I also don't feel like I feel like I handle things with my team. I have a PA that works for me and 2 nurses. And that comes with a lot of dealing with personalities and conflict, sometimes drama, but I don't let that upset me or overwhelm me anymore. And I have learned a lot about how to deal with that and how to think about, that their drama is not my drama necessarily, and that I don't have to take that home with me and be upset about it. And have made a lot of progress in terms of how I deal with them. And it's made me, I think, a better boss. And not just a better boss, meaning a better boss to them, but it's made me better at being a boss and not, always feeling like I have to make everyone happy. Sometimes you just have to be the boss. And so that's helped a lot. And I really feel like I've changed how I think about what's me time and what's what it means to decompress or to take time for myself. It's not always about going to do something for yourself, but just taking some downtime, and that's okay. And not feeling like the minute I get home, I have to open my computer and start doing charts because I wasn't done when I left the office, but that it's okay to
Pace yourself.
pace myself and spend some time and, enjoy my kids, and yet I can still get the work done.
Yes.
Because when you spend so much time and energy thinking about, I got to do this and I got to do that, you're probably not going to be efficient at doing any of it.
Nope.
Tired and exhausted and stressed, and your mind's going in 1,000 directions. So if you actually just take a little time to unwind and then do a little bit later, probably be more efficient when you do it. So, just changing how I think about it gave me permission to enjoy the time I take away from my work. And it makes me able to focus better when I return to my work. So I feel like we've done a lot of, I don't like the term thought work, but really, work on on changing how I think about my situation. And when you change how you think about it, it helps you to recognize what you have control over.
Yes.
And, I think my journey for change started even before you and I met, when I moved to Iowa and left the job where I had no autonomy, no control. But now that we have been working together, I know how to better utilize my autonomy to make change, to make my life better. So, and I really think that has made me more relaxed, and my family has noticed a difference, and my husband has noticed a difference, especially in, because I talk to him a lot about my stuff with staff and things like that.
Yeah.
And he really has noticed that these things don't bother me the way they used to.
Wow, that's great. That's really great to hear. So what would you say, just some of the things that have made working with me work for you?
I have
brag on me.
Other coaching programs before, so this is not my first experience with coaching, but I didn't really have as much success with some of those, not all, but some of those programs. And so part of it is I've tried a lot of group coaching, and that I feel like it just, for me, for some people it's great, but for me, I do better in a one-on-one setting.
Same.
And the other thing I think is that I really like the very organic way in which we do this. It's just, sometimes it's a lot of just my free flowing thoughts about what's going on. And, then you helping me to organize my thoughts about that, and, see if I can view it differently. And because of that, then approach it differently, as opposed to I just do better with that than a very structured approach. And I definitely don't do well with any programs that are very rigid. More of my experience with coaching that has kind of a rigid structure is probably more in the eating and weight loss kind of realm. However, I never succeeded with that because I just don't do well in that. Someone tells me to do something, I kind of want to do the opposite. So
don't we all?
For me, the flexibility and the very organic way that we've done this has worked really well. And I know there are a lot of coaches that work that way, but for me, that style is best. And so I really have felt like, it ends up being like talking to a colleague or a friend. And then in the midst of that, it brings things up that then we kind of dial in and talk about. And so that works well for me. I don't feel like I get a lot of, sometimes you're like, I'd like you to do this. And, but at the same time, I don't feel like it stresses me out more because I have homework I have to do, or I have to, I have to get this done, or I'm going to be, have failed at doing what I was supposed to. And so, I think that works really well for me. It's kind of like insidious coaching. I don't even realize sometimes when I'm learning to do things differently. So
that's great. I like to think that as a coach, I'm able to sense almost intuitively what my client needs, and be able to just help create that solution without putting pressure on you, because it's like,
Yes,
that's not what you came here for.
exactly. So no, and I mean, I think just I'll never forget when I had a terrible nanny and I was, venting about it, and you said you don't pay people to stress you out.
Yep.
So, don't feel bad about firing her. That's not it, you shouldn't be paying her to stress you out.
We
But
don't pay
sometimes
for stress.
people think where it's like, yeah, why am I making myself crazy about this? It's just, and so it kind of translated over into work too, right? Like, I'm not going to let these people, like, let the situation stress me out. I'm going to change it. If it's not working for me and I'm paying someone, we're going to. So yeah, I think that, I don't know, we just mesh well, and the way you coach has worked really well for me, because I just feel like I get to come here and bring whatever things have been
Yep.
challenging for me in the week before, and we, work on it.
Yes. I'm so glad. I'm so happy to be your coach. I really am. So I'm not crying. Somebody's cutting onions. Um, one last question.
Okay.
Would you recommend me to any physicians and non-physicians alike?
I would absolutely recommend you. I feel like it's made a big difference in my life. The coaching, I feel like I'm calmer. I am more measured in my approach to things. And it's made a difference in all aspects of my life. And I really feel like, it's been a huge benefit for me. And I would think that anyone else would experience the same. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend you.
Thank you. So you hear her. You'd be crazy not to hire me. Thank you so very much, Dr. Seema Harichand, for doing this interview with me. And I will see you. We'll see you at our next session.
Thank you.
Thank you.